Okay, I'm going to skip comments from residents on agenda items and come back to that after item 4, which is discussion on MS4 tax and property tax exemption. This evening, I've invited 2 of our solicitors to speak at tonight's board meeting. Weiss, Burkhart, and Kramer. Attorney Janet Burkhart is here to represent their firm. Typically, real estate and litigation are issues discussed in executive session, but since the Monroeville Council chose to make false and unprofessional allegations against the Gateway School District publicly at last Tuesday night's council meeting, we felt obligated to respond. After watching the council meeting, it is clear that there is a misunderstanding regarding the delinquent taxes owed on the Club for Life, otherwise known as the Racket Club property. It is also clear that council has little to no understanding of the MS4 lawsuit we have filed against them regarding the stormwater management fee and how the church issue became relevant. Yes, council, we do understand the difference between a tax and a fee. So we will also have Attorney Dice, Mrs. Chelsea Bruce Dice here to address that issue. Since Attorney Janet Burkhart is here via Zoom, we are going to begin with her. And I would just like to know if you could first just provide everybody with a background of your firm. You might have to unmute yourself too, Janet.
Am I unmuted? Okay. So our firm collects delinquent tax for Gateway School District. We've been doing that for a lot of years. And we do that at absolutely no cost to the district. I don't know what questions you want to ask me. I have the supervisor of our department also online, Ann Wargo. She actually is the paralegal assigned to Gateway. And so every question, every resident who calls our office regarding Gateway delinquent tax will speak only to Ann, which is a feature that most delinquent tax collection firms can't offer you. If you have questions about how your delinquent tax program works, I'm happy to answer those questions.
Well, I think, Attorney Burkhart, that the public doesn't really understand, how all these things work. So I just thought a background.
Okay,
let me understand.
Let me start with Act 20 of 2006, which was an effort by the legislature to ensure that school districts do not have to use current tax dollars to pay for the collection of delinquent taxes. And that act shifted the burden for the costs of collection to the delinquent taxpayer. So in essence, school districts don't pay for the cost of collection. Delinquent taxpayers pay their own costs of collection. And that's very important because delinquent taxpayers starting in 2006, when everybody adopted their resolution, saw all the fees, commissions, late fees, everything added to their own account. And they pay them, and those all go back, with the exception of the commission, to the school district to ensure that the school district is not using current tax funds to pay to collect delinquent taxes. And that was a turning point for school districts, and a very brave act by the legislature to change the structure of how delinquent taxes are handled. That's what our office does. And all the delinquent costs and fees are paid by the delinquent property owner.
Well, then can you speak to the issue of what happens when a delinquent property owner requests relief from delinquent taxes and or interest and penalty fees? How does that handle?
Okay, we always recommend that the school district not waive fees, because once you start waiving fees, you become a board that's in the business of judging whose story is sadder. So the statute says these are the fees. There's a 10% penalty, there's a 10% commission. If there's interest, there's interest. If there's lien fees, there's lien fees. And those are statutory. So we tell boards, and we've told you, you don't waive those fees. But what you can do is if somebody's in trouble, and we find this a lot, we put them on a payment plan. It's generally a 1-year payment plan because we don't want these to get real old. But if they can't do a 1-year payment plan, we give them an application for a hardship. If they qualify for a hardship, we'll do a 2-year payment plan. But we try to keep those as short as possible. And that's in the district's best interest.
Okay, and then from your records, has anyone representing the buyer for the Racket Club Lane property contacted your office for a payment plan and or reduction in interest or fees?
No, that's the funny thing. No one ever did contact us. Had they contacted us, we offer a 1-year payment plan. That would have been an automatic situation. We received no phone calls. Ira Weiss received no phone calls. And Wargo received no phone calls. I received no phone calls. No one contacted us about a problem with this property. But had they contacted us, we would have said, of course, we will give you a 1-year payment option. They didn't contact us. Instead, they paid in full.
I'm sorry, did you say they paid in full?
Yes, they did.
So it's, the taxes on this property are no longer delinquent and everything is paid in full, up to date.
Correct.
Okay. Do you desire to get abandoned properties back on the tax rolls?
Excuse me?
Is it a desire or a goal of your firm for us to get properties back on the tax rolls if they're delinquent?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everything is focused towards getting properties back to being productive on the tax rolls. And we assist homeowners and we assist taxpayers in vacant property and elderly folks if they have problems. We do everything we can to help them get back on the tax rolls. And I would say to you and to the board, this may be the first time you've ever had a complaint about our services, and yet it was a complaint that was unfounded because we had never been contacted.
Yeah, and for the record, Attorney Burkhart, I think the complaint was against the school district, not you, but we're thankful for you to take the time to be here just to answer our questions and to make the situation a little more clear to our council members and our taxpayers who are watching. So I do want to thank you on behalf of my colleagues for taking the time to join us this evening. We don't want to keep you too long, but I would like to just open it up to other board members if anyone else has any questions for Attorney Burkhart. Are there any other questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Seeing none.
All
Thank you
right.
very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you being here.
You're very welcome.
In relation to that question, I want to also, for the record, ask Mr. Schott, did anybody from representing the property from the Racket Club Lane contact you about tax relief?
No one from the property contacted myself or anyone in my office.
Okay, and Mr. Dice or Ms. Dice, did anyone contact your law firm on behalf of this property?
No, we didn't receive any calls concerning this property, but in fact, I ended up calling the attorney for Club for Life, I believe, on Monday to confirm what transpired. And it's my understanding that the information solicitor concerning whether or not Gateway would provide a payment plan or not. And I explained that it's our standard that we always provide at least a 1 year. He never contacted us. He admitted he never contacted us. He said in the future he should, and it was at his error. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you for